time and third graders, it's Miss Deal here, and today we're going to be working on week 2, day 5 of your distance learning packet. Alright, so let's get started. So day 5 is drafting and publishing your final project. So on day 4, you should have chosen one of the 3 options for a final project: a letter to the editor, an essay, or a letter. Then you should have filled out your note catcher and planned what you were going to write about in your final project. So you can see here, I filled out the note catcher and I'm writing a letter to the editor, and I'm writing about the missing links. And then I put some evidence from the text in my note catcher so I could help and remember what I was thinking about when I was writing. Okay, so you should have already finished thinking about what you're writing and drafting your final project. So today we're going to finish writing it, and then we're going to edit and revise, and hopefully you'll be able to present it to someone in your family. So our first step is to draft your final project using the line paper provided or your own materials found at home. So I used the line paper provided, and I wrote my final project down here. Next, use the checklist found below to edit and revise your work. So first, I have to see if I stated my claim and I used evidence. So I'm going to reread what I wrote to see if I stated my claim and I used evidence. So since I'm writing a letter to the editor, I started my project with Dear Reader. In the missing links, the author describes how Iberian lynxes were affected by human interaction. First, the author explains that lynxes lost their habitat to farms, buildings, and roads. Also, people hunted so many rabbits that there were not enough for the lynxes to eat. The lynx became endangered. However, scientists helped the lynxes recover by making rabbitats for them to hunt in. Scientists took lynxes to breeding centers. In conclusion, the author of The Missing Links explained how humans first hurt, then helped the Iberian lynx. So I think I definitely stated my claim and I used evidence because I filled out my note catcher and I used what I wrote there to write my letter. So I think I can check those 2 off. Next we'll go on to organization. I introduced my topic clearly and stated my claim. I think I did that because I wrote an introduction sentence talking about what my letter would be about. I wrote my reasons in order so they make sense to my reader. I definitely did that. Let's go on to elaboration. I used specific words and details that would make the reader agree with my claim. I think I did that. Let's see, what's next? I wrote at least 2 reasons that support my claim. I had several details and reasons in my letter. I connected my reasons together with words and phrases such as because, therefore, since, and for example. Let's see if I used any of those words here. I'm not sure if I did, but I think there is a place where I can put the word because. Here, where I wrote also, people hunted so many rabbits that there were not enough for the lynxes to eat, and then the lynx became endangered. I think I can use these sentences to make one with the word because. So I'm going to write, the lynx became endangered because people hunted so many rabbits that there were not enough for the lynxes to eat. So I'm going to change that here. Lynx became endangered because people hunted so many rabbits that there were not enough for the lynxes to eat. There we go. So I used the word because in a sentence. I can check that off. I wrote a concluding statement or section that restated my claim. I did include a concluding sentence in my letter that says in conclusion at the beginning. I wrote an ending that reminds my readers of my claim. I did that in my concluding sentence. And I wrote an ending that makes the reader agree with my claim. Finally, I need to check my language and conventions. First, did I use capital letters correctly when writing sentences? Let's go back and check. Okay, I see one here. I didn't start this sentence with a capital F in the word first, so I will change that to a capital F. I think the rest of my sentences are good, so I can check off using capital letters. I used end punctuation correctly. Let's check that. Okay, in this sentence, the lynx became endangered because people hunted so many rabbits that there were not enough for the lynxes to eat. I didn't include a punctuation at the end of this sentence, so I'd better put that in. There we go. Let's go on. I spelled grade level words correctly. I'm pretty sure I spelled all of these words correctly, but if I didn't, or if I wasn't sure, I could always go to Google and check there. I could type in the word and see if it was spelled correctly, or I could check a dictionary if I have one at home. So I spelled grade level words correctly. I used resources to help me find words I cannot spell. So there we go. I finished writing my final project. So the last thing to do is publish your final project by presenting it to a friend or family member. So I published my final project by making a YouTube video. You can publish yours by reading it to someone in your family, or I'm sure one of your teachers would love to hear you read it on Teams if you get the chance. You could always email or text your teachers. All right, see you next week. Bye, guys.